Welcome to Slimehouse TV, I'm Theo Kane and we're back at HorrorCon UK 2025 for our 10th anniversary special, which is set to be our biggest and best event ever. We've got some incredible cosplayers walking around, there's some amazing merchandise and memorabilia for sale, and as always we've got some awesome special guests as well that we're going to be hanging out with all weekend and ushering around, and we're going to be giving you the full tour of all of it. So if all that sounds like a bit of you, as always, sit back, make sure you're comfy, and let's do this. So long-time viewers of the channel will know that we've been covering HorrorCon UK now for quite some time, pretty much since the start, and as I just mentioned, this year we were celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So this is an event that's very much a staple of the Slimehouse calendar now. It's a weekend that myself and everybody else involved in always really look forward to, and although over the years the theme of the videos that I upload on this channel have moved in different directions, something that's never changed is that every year I always make room in the upload schedule for a HorrorCon UK behind the scenes video. Getting the Hellraiser guests is always, it's always an event. Yeah, we have lost Barbie.
Yeah, we have lost Barbie.
Okay, you guys head up and Now, as well as being the official videographer crew of HorrorCon UK, that's something that we just do on the side while we're there. My actual official title at this event is the Guest Liaison Manager, which means over the 2 days that we operate, it's my job to get all the special guests to all of their appointments on time, their photo shoots and their Q&As, which is also a job that holds a lot of responsibility and can get a bit stressful at times, but it's one that I take a lot of pride in, and it also means that myself and the team all get to hang out with a ton of horror legends and movie stars and filmmakers that we all grew up admiring, which is always the highlight of HorrorCon UK for me personally. So as always, we've got an awesome lineup of special guests at HorrorCon this year. So from the top, we've got the Soska Sisters, we've also got Alice Krieg, John Philbin, we've got Ralph Ineson, Neil Maskell is also in the house. Next to him, we've got Doug Bradley and Ashley Lawrence from the Hellraiser movies. We've also got a bunch of the other Hellraiser cast over this side of the room, and a couple of people that you'll know from last year. We've got the Grim Life Collective as well, who are always very, very welcome at HorrorCon. And then right on the end, we've got director Ty West, and it's really cool as well to see some of the merchandise that people pull out and get signed, the posters, the toys, all that stuff. Obviously, you know we love that stuff here at Slimehouse. So while we're just kicking off here, and before it gets too busy, while we're here at Ralph Ineson's table, before he's got his queue and stuff later on, I just wanted to go through some of these amazing props that he's brought. So Ralph Ineson this year has brought a load of props from movies that he's worked on, official props, some stuff to show the fans, and also a couple of bits to give away as well. So I just wanted to show them on camera now while we've got them. So I'm not going to pick them up or anything like that, obviously, but we've got a prosthetic mask here from Willow. We've also got the horns from The Witch, very iconic role for Ralph and very iconic movie, obviously. So these are the horns that impale him. Spoilers, in that movie, he's brought the exact horns. We've also got here from The Green Knight, the prosthetic makeup design, the actual like prosthetic mask here, the original one from the Green Knight movie, so beautiful. From The First Omen, we've also got Father Brennan's hat and his chain there, and then we've got a really nice original piece here by Robert Eggers of the actual character that Ralph played in The Witch, like some original concept art. So cool to see, but something that's like drawn a lot of eyes this weekend, obviously, because it's such a big movie at the minute, is the glasses from Nosferatu that Ralph wore. Like, when are you going to get the chance to see this stuff in person with Ralph actually there and get the chance to meet him and stuff? HorrorCon UK killing it this year. Also, very generously, Ralph has brought along a couple of pieces of crew merchandise from films that he's worked on. Nosferatu, that I just mentioned, and then also Frankenstein, the new Del Toro movie that he's in as well. So he's brought a couple of crew pieces that he's actually raffling away this weekend for Candlelighters charity, I believe. So yeah, really, really cool, and whoever wins them is obviously going to be very, very happy. So although all of them pieces were obviously not for sale, HorrorCon UK, like every year, was still stacked with a ton of traders, all specialising in horror merchandise and cult movie memorabilia, and like always, there was a bunch of really impressive stuff on offer. There's always such an amazing variety of pieces for sale at HorrorCon UK. Toys, collectibles, film props, obscure Blu-rays and movie posters, all things that I love and no doubt you dig as well if you're watching this video. But something that I really wanted to highlight this year at the convention was some of the handcrafted and homemade creations that people had brought along. Being somebody that 3D sculpts and prints and works in toy design and toy production, I'm always really drawn to these types of pieces, and I'm really intrigued to find out people's ways of making things and their creative process. And although it would be impossible to showcase everybody in one video, there were a couple of traders this year that I just had to throw a bit of a spotlight on. Just here with Rubber Griller, who's been coming to HorrorCon for many years, and I always admire his work. And what I really like about it is it's all hand sculpted in a water-based clay, and then he makes a plaster cast mold. And then they're actually just made with liquid latex, like painting liquid latex into the mold in layers, I assume. No like fancy foam latex baking in ovens, no fancy equipment or anything like that, which in many ways could give other people the impetus to create something like this, because he's done it with very simple materials and techniques and equipment. But obviously the results he's getting are absolutely phenomenal. Now this is a guy that randomly won the spray booth that I gave away on the YouTube channel a few months ago. So I saw him here yesterday, got chatting to him, and we're just admiring his work. And he does like a mix of 3D printing and then also sculpting his own stuff and then painting them beautifully. And yesterday this stand was full of stuff that he'd made, but he sold it all because his prices are so good. So I just wanted to spotlight a few of his pieces because yeah, what he's doing is really, really good. And it was nice to meet him, nice to meet somebody that got the spray booth that we gave away on the channel and see what incredible stuff he's been doing with it. Just here with another like staple of HorrorCon at this point. He's been coming for years and always has such fantastic work. This is Demonic Creations, and he has like a really like almost like a hyper-real kind of style. His stuff's like got exaggerated proportions and stuff, ever so slightly like comic book and cartoony and things. Big fan of it, and I've seen lots of my friends pick up his work over the years. Really, really like what he's doing.
Yeah, so I've sculpted all these digitally, and then what I do is I print out like the head.
Yeah.
I've got a printer that I can do a head size.
Yeah, yeah.
And then from that I'll sculpt in like the shoulders like with clay traditionally.
Right, right.
I used to do everything traditionally, but since getting into 3D sculpting, it's just a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's what we all do now, so intuitive.
The turnaround's quicker. Once I've sculpted it in clay, I then make the silicone moulds, and then I then produce it. It's like this one I've just literally finished this week.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
it's
done
beautiful. They're so lifelike, like this Evil Dead 2 one, and then like the likeness that you've got on the Tim Curry and the Robert Englund and stuff. It's insane what you're doing, man. The Doug.
I mean, these are just the prototypes at the moment, so these are just 3D printed.
Yeah.
And the Linda, I've just painted directly on them. But
you said just 3D printed, but I mean, you couldn't ask for a nicer finish. Look at them, they're beautiful, they're beautiful. And the wig work as well, I don't know if it's like punched or just
actually,
a wig you put on top, but it looks
so
good,
wig.
yeah.
Normally with me, when I'm buying wigs, I'm like buying about 6 different types till I find anything. Or what I've done previously is I've ended up picking them, so I'm actually hand laying them.
Yeah.
Which takes forever, but that was the first wig that's been perfect.
Well, big ups, man. Thank you for sharing a few of your techniques and stuff and things.
Yeah, no, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know how much of that you caught, but we're just here with the Evil Shed, who's an amazing sculptor and 3D printer and painter. He's doing some like really high detailed, high realistic 1.1 scale busts and maquettes and stuff, and the way that he's getting the likenesses on some of the faces is so impressive. I just had to showcase a little bit of it in this video because, yeah, there's so many cool creators here, but this guy really stood out to me. So obviously, something that draws many people to HorrorCon every year is the chance for them to meet with the special guests that we always have in attendance, get a photo with them, get something signed, have a chat about their career and ask them questions. And being such a huge fan of all this stuff myself, I'm no different. And over the years, we've had the opportunity to speak to so many different horror and genre movie legends, all of which are interviews and featurettes that you can still find on the channel. And even though it can often be difficult to pin them down with such a busy schedule, there was one person this year that I really wanted to try and have a quick chat with about something very near and dear to me that I'd brought along to the convention specifically for this very occasion. So as I mentioned earlier, John Kassir is here this weekend, and he's the guy that voiced the Crypt Keeper in Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Crypt Keeper, the animated show. And I've got my original toys here that I had as a kid of the Crypt Keeper from that show. Now I've had these since I was about 10 years old. I kept the boxes for him because I was a weird kid like that, and my dad always knew that stuff was going to be collectible in the future. But I'd really love to talk to John about these figures and see what he remembers about them being produced. So what I'm going to do is quickly jump in his queue and try and get a quick interview. Let's see how we get on. Slimehouse TV, back at HorrorCon UK 2025, 10th anniversary with the legendary John Kassir. How have you found the weekend so far?
Oh, it's brilliant. We've had an amazing time, you know. It's been a scream.
And I was talking to you earlier about how we've got a lot of fans who watch my channel who are big into action figures and toy collecting, and as they can see right here, we're holding what I believe is the first ever Crypt Keeper action figure.
It is.
Unless you can dispute that.
You know, there were these, and we made the little ones that they come packaged, the little, just the little ones that maybe just the arms moving kind
for
of
the
thing.
cartoon, right? For the animated series.
Yeah, but these were, I think, as I remember, these were the first talking action figures, yeah. And then they had larger versions of these as well.
Oh, there's been so many since this, aren't there? Like now, obviously, that's like a whole thing. But these are actually mine that I had as a kid. And they still, from when I was a little kid, these were mine, and they still talk.
I know, it's
very
amazing.
Quietly.
I don't know what, you know, do they not make batteries like that anymore?
They must not.
He said, "Hello, kiddies. The more the merrier."
And do you know these sound clips? Were they actually taken just from the cartoon, or did you record them for this? Do you remember?
I recorded them for
Specifically for the toy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, because what's funny about these as well is it's got more like a realistic look, like we look like in the TV show, but
That's
it's actually
right.
to promote the cartoon, right? Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
That's
Tales
correct.
From the Crypt.
That's it. And they made a limited edition of these as well because, of course, they wanted everything to be collectible like the comic books.
Yeah. And what's it like for yourself, being somebody that, although you're the voice of the Crypt Keeper, you're very much this character? When you're seeing people selling merchandise with your character on and your voice, that must be like a crazy thing, right? All these years later, we're still seeing it.
You have to also send props to Kevin Yeager for creating such an interesting looking character.
Yeah.
In fact, when I auditioned for the character, I got to go down to Kevin Yeager's studio to see what he looked like. So, you know, to actually get the opportunity to match the voice to the character. So
when you could see it there for the first time.
Yeah.
And am I right in thinking they use the same eyes and face rig as the Chucky doll? Is that right?
Yeah, well, you know, when we first started the show, they didn't have a large budget. Yeah. HBO was just starting to become on the map. And Kevin was using spare parts from his, from his studio. And I think that he had thought that he would temporarily use Chucky eyes on the Crypt Keeper, but I think it looked so great and gave
So
him
good.
this kind of Hollywood charm that he
Yeah.
decided to keep it. Yeah.
Such an iconic look all these years later. I recently watched Demon Knight, like for the first time in a long time, and it still holds up so good, all the effects in it, and obviously the Crypt Keeper is such a big part of that film, doing all the wraparound and things.
That's
And then
correct.
we watched Solar Opposites recently, the Crypt Keeper turned up in that. So all these years later, he's still a character that's so relevant in the world of horror. What does that make you feel like as somebody that voiced this?
I like to say that the Crypt Keeper is kind of like the gateway drug to horror.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for taking the time this weekend.
The pleasure's
it's
all
been
mine.
so good to have you. And
Thank
would you
you.
come back? Would you come back for another HorrorCon?
Oh yeah, for
had a
sure.
good time?
Yeah, I had a great time in Sheffield.
Nice one.
And I got myself some really good razor blades.
Good to know. That's John Kassir at HorrorCon UK 2025. Peace. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this year HorrorCon UK celebrated its 10th anniversary, and as somebody that's been a part of the crew that helped run it now since the very beginning, it brings me so much joy to see just how much it's grown and how big and popular it's become. And I think I speak for everyone, not just myself, that over the years it's given everybody that's been a part of it or attended it so many amazing memories that we'll always treasure, and I don't say it lightly, it's something that I'm genuinely so proud to be a part of, and I'm so happy that it exists. I never thought when I was a little kid, staying up late with my friends, binge watching all these crazy 80s VHS tapes, that one day I'd be working alongside so many of the people that made them and starred in them, and I'm sure everyone else who's attended even one of our events can also relate in some way or another. So if you've ever been to a HorrorCon UK event, either as a guest, as staff, a cosplayer or as an attendee, I want to say thank you for making the convention what it is now, and I also hope that if you've never had a chance to visit the show, that you feel that these videos that we make every year capture at least a bit of the con's energy and make you feel like you got to experience a small part of it. We've already got the dates locked in for next year's event, so we're all behind the scenes getting prepared for that, but in the meantime, I'd love to know what you thought of this year's event, if you had any memorable interactions with any of the guests, or if you picked up anything cool for your collection. And as always, if you didn't manage to make the event this year, did you see anything in this footage that you would have not been able to leave without coming home with? And let us know if there's anything that you saw in this footage that you'd like us to focus on more. Your feedback in the comments is always very much appreciated. Now, before we wrap this up today, there were a couple more people that I got the chance to speak to before the end of the convention. This was right at the end of the second day. The venue was getting ready to close, everybody was packing up, and even though they'd both been signing and doing talks and photo shoots and meet and greets non-stop for the whole weekend, these two were still hanging out with fans, still full of energy and still keeping the party going. Slimehouse TV, myself, Theo, and we're back for the final little talk of the day with the Soska Sisters. It's been HorrorCon UK 2025, and I believe it's your first time doing a horror convention in England. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Very correct.
And have you found it? Have you found the people, the event, the vibe?
We got absolute rubbish.
We got absolutely spoiled this weekend. Everybody was so nice. I think it's because we've never been here before, but we've always premiered all of our films in London Fright Fest.
Yeah, next year they're going to be so over you. Is that what we're saying?
I don't know. Some of them are already asking us to come back. They're already. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah, we had the time of our lives. We were here in Sheffield like 12 years ago when we toured through with American Mary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people actually brought their like photos from 12 years ago. Haven't aged a day.
Yeah, it's same age.
Of course. Do you know, like you two doing your independent filmmaking together and stuff starting out, you saw a young girl today when you were doing your Q&A. She was so small. She was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Not even that. Was she even small? I don't know. It's hard to gauge a child's age, but she was little. She was so into what you were doing. Do you know, like, to people that want to come up and make movies, what's your like little bit of advice to them?
Well, for her, we told her that she has to remake American Mary when she's old enough. Yeah. So, you know, she'll bring it to the young people at that age.
When she's old enough to watch it, yeah. And
But I would also say, don't let anyone be a dream stealer.
Yeah.
People that say that you can't be a filmmaker or an actress or whatever you want to do, just tell them to fuck off and do exactly what you want. I mean, we've made an entire career of people telling us that no, that you can't do it, and we just did it anyways.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you're like a powerhouse together. We've got two people that I work with very closely on my YouTube channel that are twins, and they hate being associated as twins. They're always rivaling. Like, what is it about being twins and working as that powerhouse and that united front that you think like aids what you do so well?
Wow, I couldn't imagine working without Jen because we divide and conquer, and we also have like this telepathic link where we can just look at each other. And
I've seen it all weekend. Yeah, I'm like, look at these two.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no, and then she's like, I'm gonna go talk to them, and I'm done. You know, it's just so much fun having a twin. It's like having two of you. I actually feel sorry for you guys that have no twins. Like, how do you get through the day without somebody who can read your thoughts and help you with everything?
Oh yeah, and the world
Yeah.
is full of enemies. There's so few people that you can actually trust, you know,
Yeah.
and rely on. And having a twin, not only do you have the shorthand, but you have someone that actually is always in your corner. It's such an amazing feeling. There's somebody who does want to hear your dream when you wake up, you know?
Yeah, and also we are super competitive, but Jen is better than me, so I just decided not to do
Wow.
that to myself anymore.
We've joined forces.
Yeah.
Any one of our victories is both of our victories.
See, it's like a gracious winner.
I love that. And you've got such a good back catalogue. You're doing comics and all sorts of stuff. What can people look forward to next?
Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Wu-Tang Clan was a fan of American Mary, and we've been working with them on a new movie that is American Mary meets Hostel.
No way.
And
Yeah.
we've been writing comic books for an independent comic book company in the US. That's one of the fastest growing independent comic book companies called the Rippaverse. And we're doing a comic book called Yaira, which is like a pissed off Wonder Woman, and Blood Ruth, which is about a blood witch.
So much to look forward to. Well, it's been an amazing weekend. You've been very welcome. You've had such a good reception from fans.
You guys have
already
worked
answered
your
my
asses
question.
off. You're wonderful.
That's what we do.
Thank
That's what we
you.
do. That's why we pride ourselves on having such a good convention. You kind of answered this question already anyway, but I like to wrap up with this one. Would you come again next year?
Yes. Yes, we
I
would
want to
love
be
to.
here every year. I want to be like, until like, people get like, oh God, not them again.
I don't want to leave. I had such a great time. So maybe we'll just stay in that corner for
You're
until
always
next
welcome
year.
back. You're always welcome back. Well, thank you. We did this interview right at the end because the energy levels are always so high with you guys, and yeah, you've been a pleasure to work with all weekend, and we'd love to have you back. So yeah, you heard it here first. Soska Sisters. Maybe we'll see you again. Slimehouse TV, HorrorCon UK 2025, the 10th anniversary, and we're out of here. Peace.